The new Stellaris BioGenesis DLC is adding crazy phenotype species traits for all portraits, including at least 2 positive and 1 negative trait for each portrait. We're also getting new origins, and in this dev diary, we'll dive into the Evolutionary Predator's origin, where you eat species who gain their traits. There's even a teaser about a new Espionage Operation. Let's get straight into it. You are what you eat. Iggy is here to give us the breakdown on the latest evolutions to our organic form. Way back in the summer of 2019, Eldrin, then just a simple game designer, was left all alone in the office with the Lithoids DLC. Once people came back to the office, they were greeted with the Lithoid traits. Since then, Alfred further experimented with these phenotype lock traits back in 3.1 LEM for plantoids and fungoids. Well, now we have reached the DLC that is all about genetics and organics, so of course we had to take this to the end game. For that reason, I started to work on phenotype species traits, and that naturally led to the Evolutionary Predator's origin. Oh, I'm excited. We're going to first break down phenotype species traits. Immediately, we get a turtle screenshot, the caption reading, "In Turtle Society, you don't really buy homes as much as rent sleeping nooks." A new trait, shelled. Whether naturally grown or found by chance or design, the species carries their homes with them. These shells provide a protective sanctuary, ensuring there is always a place to rest for the night. Minus 75% pop housing usage and 10% habitability. That's a big number for pop housing usage and is insane. We can see it belongs to muscloid and necroids. We can also see seasonal dormancy trait, shelled in there, and chromalogs. I have no idea what those are going to do, but this is going to be a huge mix-up to Empire design. I can't wait. This is one of the things I had on my wish list. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I've only just realized seasonal dormancy is a 2 cost, shelled is a 3 cost, and chromalogs is a 4 cost. There's some real diversity in how much they're going to cost, and minus 75% housing for 3 cost is probably fair, and the habitability. In BioGenesis, we've added 16 new species traits for you to explore at game start. Each of these is locked to a specific portrait classes, or as we refer to them here, phenotypes. At minimum, each one should have at least 2 positive traits and 1 negative. As you can see above, these traits are shared between phenotypes, similar to fungoids and plantoids. That is insane. I really do think we lack from diverse, challenging negative traits. A lot of the time you just pick the same ones. I'm really excited to get a bunch more. Oh, I'm excited. The intention of these traits was to make a Necroid Beacon of Liberty subterranean playthrough feel different than a reptilian one. Every choice in Stellaris should be an opportunity for mechanics and roleplay. Oh, this is so sad. I can't wait. Another screenshot with a new portrait with the caption reading, "If the atmosphere is not at least 95% water, I will not leave the colony ship." So we do have a -1 permeable skin. Specially developed skin that requires ideal conditions coats the species. As long as the species does not stray far from their home climate, that shouldn't be a problem. Habitability on worlds for a different climate category from our preference, minus 20%. This trait belongs to the following categories: musculoid and aquatic. So the question is, what is a climate category? And that is just dry, frozen, and wet. So to be honest, that's a very good -1, because you don't tend to settle on worlds that are a different category to what you are, because they're usually below 50% anyway. Say it was 40% before this trait, it's going to be 20%. It does mean you're going to have to terraform rather than stacking habitability stuff, but this is a really nice -1 early on, and shakes up the better and Empire builds and gives you RP stuff, and it's just good for the game to have more traits, as long as they're different and unique like that one. And of course we get another one with another species portrait showing off Rooted, a -3. I don't think we have a -3. Yeah, we do not have a -3 that can be picked off the start of the game, or at all, I don't think. This is gonna lead to some cool stuff. Let's actually read what it is, though. Rooted. This species literally takes root in whichever environment they find themselves, making removal a highly traumatic experience. Pops will not automatically resettle. Pop growth from immigration, minus 75%. Resettlement costs, plus 100%. Okay, now we know why it's a -3, because I don't think that's going to be great with the 4.0 changes, as a lot of the pop growth comes from migration and auto resettlement. We'll have to try this out, but I wouldn't pick this at game start. Maybe later on when your planets are settled, like late game where you don't really need too many pops, you can whack that -3 on to get strong traits. The habitat has been our home for 30 minutes. Will not be visiting the one system over. Yeah, they won't. They're rooted. They are Groot. In this screenshot, we also see acidic vascularity, no idea what that's going to do. Camouflage, another 1 trait cost. Egg laying and familial. I'm guessing egg laying and familial will have something to do with pop growth, but we'll have to find out. Negative traits are really interesting to design, as they set up a puzzle for the player to get around. What can you forego, and what are you willing to pay for that intelligent trait? Here we attempt to stay flavorful to your species while providing more interesting modifiers than just simple static upkeep ones. It's 100% true. Iggy and me, same wavelength there. They need to not just be, negative alloys or whatever. They need to be a fun workaround and a puzzle. In addition, we have played it a bit looser with point costs here, introducing more 3-point traits that can really grant you the opportunity to craft the species that fits your fantasy. Again, this is just good. Yep. We then get another screenshot showing unnatural selection from one of the BioGenesis ascensions. Project Chimera is a go. Unnatural selection. We have the power to direct the course of our evolution through targeted mutation effects. Can ignore phenotype restrictions for adding and removing phenotype traits. Traits with species modification. Can add negative traits with species modification. Advanced organic species traits can be added or removed with species modification. Can alter pop appearance with species modification. +4 to organic species modification points and trait picks, and -50% modify species special project cost. That's a crazy pick. The fact you can ignore phenotype traits is going to lead to some wacky pops. It's beautiful. If you've been following the recent developer streams we have been broadcasting, you might have heard about the mutation path of genetic ascension. Well, if you fully commit and go full mad scientist, you can add these traits to any of your pops. Make your egg-laying winged humans. I wonder why the aliens won't contact us. I love it. It just gives so much power to the player. If you have a vision, you can do it. You're not restricted, but you have to work for it a bit. So good. Another screenshot. The caption, "No, I don't need a map. My genes tell me the gas station will be around the corner." We see another portrait. I believe that's an armadillo or an anteater. I don't know. But we're seeing genetic memory, a 3-cost positive trait. Passing down knowledge and learnings from one generation to the next has been the start of many civilizations. This species has taken it a step further by encoding survival instincts directly into their genetic code, ensuring that each generation is born with the accumulated wisdom of their ancestors. Habitability from colony age, 0.5% per year, with a max 50%. I love it. It's locked to humanoid, and I'm guessing whatever that is, mammalian? That is a crazy trait. You can just settle all the planets you see, and eventually you will get 50% habitability. I love it. These are really, really unique and cool. These traits will be fully compatible with all the portraits we have in the game, including the new mammalian ones coming in 4.0, so we get ready to break out that ancient Hydra portrait and see what havoc you can bring to the galaxy. There's 3 mammalian portraits coming to 4.0, that's cool. And Hydra? What? Didn't know about that. That's okay. One more thing though, another screenshot. Do you know our logo is supposed to be a platypus skeleton? It's true, the Paradox logo is meant to be a platypus skeleton. And we do have the platypus alien looking thing, showing egg laying, a 2-cost positive trait. The young of this species do not develop inside a parent, but inside the protective shell of an egg. This allows for rapid growth during times of plenty. While living on a planet with a local food or mineral production surplus plus 15%. When it says all minerals, is that only for lithoids or is that with either resource? But that's really quite easy to get, and that 15% is very nice. So all you need to do is probably build 1 or 2 food districts or minerals. If it's an alloy or consumer good world, probably best trying to get the food positive than the minerals, if that's how I'm interpreting it. But it sounds so good. Like, these are such good, interesting traits that you really have to think about and build around, and that can fit in different builds. A lot of portraits don't fit nicely into a single category, and for that, we've managed to make exceptions. So expect to see egg-laying platypi, flying monkeys, budding coral reefs, shell turtles, and more. Now, if this is sounding insane and interesting to you and you want to buy BioGenesis or even Season 9, make sure you use a creator code or creator link, as creators will get a kickback and it doesn't cost you any more. You have to use the Paradox website and then you will get a Steam key to redeem it on Steam. My code is EP for Stellaris, or you can use my link in the description. These codes will last forever until they abandoned the affiliate program, so there is no rush buying this. If you want to wait a year to buy BioGenesis, you can, and use my code still. It also applies to any Paradox games, so if you're buying Hearts of Iron or City Skylines, you can use my code too. It's greatly appreciated. Now let's get back with the video and show you the new origin, Evolutionary Predators. Now, if you're like me, you played Crusader Kings 2 back in the day, got the cannibal trait, locked people with good genetic traits inside your castle, and ate them all to gain said traits. After that, you said, this is peak game design. Just me? No, I agree, Iggy. Either way, I wanted to bring that playstyle back to a much more grounded and reality-bound game, Stellaris. And with the addition of Phenotype traits, we finally have enough goodies to go around. Here it is, Evolutionary Predators. It's going to block all ascension paths except for mutation ascension. The species has always hunted the most unique creatures, driven by an instinct they didn't fully understand. Possessing a rare ability to integrate the genetics of their prey, they evolved into the apex predator of its world, absorbing every genetic advantage available. Now, their hunger leads them to the stars. You get the species trait Malleable Genes, you get a situation, Adaptive Evolution, and Homeworld Genetic Soup. You'll also get +1 organic species trait picks. You can't have Augmentation Bazaars, Permanent Employment, Idyllic Bloom, Mycorrhizal Ideal, that's a new civic, I think. Body Satcher Civic, that's also new, and Natural Design Civic. And you obviously cannot be machine. With the caption reading, Lithoids are crunchy. Welcome to the Evolutionary Predator's origin. This is an origin with relatively few restrictions. As long as you are organic, you are free to play it. That's great. There's so many origins that now have loads of restrictions. Just give me a nice origin to play off and set me free. I worked hard to keep the language as neutral as possible. If you want to be a former hunter of the night, spreading fear across your entire planet, but now you've reformed and adopted pacifism and xenophilia, then go for it. Now, unprompted, let me show you a bat portrait. Oh, it's actually upside down as well. That's so cool. And a new city background sneak peek. Get down from there. It's an important diplomatic conference. We also get to see the Malleable Genes trait that you have to start with, and it costs 6. The species does not stick as rigidly to identity features and organs as most other species do. Instead, they grow the best appendage for the job. However, this instability has some drawbacks. Species with this trait cannot be genetically modified. Okay. Automodding traits automatically adjust to better suit the job that a pop is currently working. Malleable Genes picks modifiers from the Malleable Genes auto mod trait list. So I'm guessing this is very similar to what we've seen with the auto mod traits from Machine Age, where it will pick good traits, but it costs a lot more. You're going to have to balance this out with negatives like slow breeders, repugnant and unruly, and you won't be able to get rid of them. However, we do get shown Flight, another phenotype trait. The origin comes with the Malleable Gene species trait, which blocks you from manually modifying your species. As you can see, it costs an exorbitant 6 points, forcing you to pick a few extra negative traits to even start the game. Luckily, your economy should still run, as Malleable Genes is an auto-modding trait that ensures that your pops are working each job fully. I should have read on. My assumptions were correct though. Once you get started, you'll be greeted with the Adaptive Evolution situation and a homeworld carrying the Genetic Soup modifier, which will help boost your situation progress. So here's the situation. Adaptive evolution, unique genetic insights are analyzed and disseminated as we encounter new species. Once finished, we will evolve, permanently adding a new positive species trait to our own genetic code. Oh my word. So there's 3 choices that you can do. They're currently on incorporate. We're seeing the monthly change of planetary biology 45, species diversity 5, counselor variety 5. That does imply we can speed that up somehow, but I'm not entirely sure based on those modifiers. The situation progresses faster from, okay, why do I speak? Fresh colonies, having many species in your empire, having a diverse council, purging through a vassal agreement, and if you are megacorp through commercial packs. You just know I'm going to do a challenge run on this where I try and maximize getting as many traits as possible and utilizing all those factors. I can't wait. Okay, we get a new screenshot with a caption, "You don't spontaneously evolve an extra heart." So we can see the adaptive evolution situation is finished. Our species grows more complex. After scouring the stars for new genetic material, we're ready to adopt a new aspect. Thanks to the hard work of our scientists, we have a choice. Whatever decision we make will affect the future of the Dun for generations to come. That's our species. We need to adapt to shifting climates. That's implying more habitability. Mammalian DNA holds more secrets. That's implying you'll get their phenotype. Even a muscloid can teach us something. Is that like a science trait? Not sure. Embrace the chaos. Let our instincts guide us. Is that random? And we are complex enough? Is that to decline? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. And when we actually hover over, it just says adds a new species trait to our primary species. So it's looking like you're not going to know exactly what it's going to give you, but you can kind of tell based on the flavor. Not sure I entirely like that. If it's going to be random, you may as well just random it or tell us exactly what the trait's going to be. But that might be my personal opinion on I like to min-max and I don't like RNG too much. The second part of the species is showing our species tab. So I believe we got given spare organs, meaning leaders will survive their first death. That's a crazy trait. On offensive army death, 20% chance to spawn a replacement army. Livestock output 50%. Oh my words, that's a trait and a half. I love it. So I'm guessing the musculoid thing was a phenotype trait, which you can see belongs to musculoid, necroid, and toxoid. This species evolved redundant organs to survive even the most grievous of injuries. A successful adaptation is evident by their continued existence. Once the situation is finished, 3 randomly generated options will be presented to you, which will grant you a random positive trait from that category. I love how we can't get negatives, it just gets crazy. Each time you complete the situation, it will get harder to complete again, but stay the course and always seek out novel genetic material, and you too can become an abomination, unknowable by mortal blog. Oh, this sounds so good. Another screenshot. Look at all those traits. Mutagenic habitability. Yeah, so that option before was actually giving us more habitability, I'm guessing. Also, the screenshot before had erudite somehow. Yes, I was called into a meeting with the UX designer when I first presented this. How could you tell? Yeah, it's like clipping past. Oh, we love it when we break a game and the game doesn't know how to do something. It's part of the joy of breaking something. Makes you feel powerful as a player. The above example is pretty extreme and would only really happen in late mid-game, but you can for sure get there if you try hard enough. As you can see, the edges of, once you genetically ascend, you can also get access to the genetic ascension traits of old, as well as your own bespoke Evolutionary Predator's advanced authorities. We have Deathless Dynasty, Succession. The Imperial Heir becomes the new ruler. Imperial Heirs have a randomly selected leader class and no leader upkeep. That's the same. Empire Effects. Empire size from pops per species trait minus 1%. That's crazy. How many traits did we have before? 22 traits was shown above. So that's minus 22% empire size. That's quite good. Allow the ruler to consume great leaders when they pass. Do they get their traits? Do they get their council traits? No. We get negative 20% pop growth speed though, which is a bit annoying, but we get 10% monthly resources, which is pretty good. The ruler's giving us power projection, edict fund per level, which is the same. We then get biomagnets as well. The succession's the same. The empire size is the same as well, but councillors are immortal. Councillors are immortal. Councillors. That means if you put a councillor, no, you can just make your favorite leaders live forever by putting them in the council. That's crazy, man. I love it. Effective councillor skill +2. I believe it was +1 before. Could be wrong. I'm going to look it up. I know it was +2, so that remains the same. And the council XP and edict fund per level is the same. Oh. So Greg almost slipped through our cracks, but I know you still haven't subscribed. So you're holding everyone up, so subscribe. And if you're not named Greg and you haven't subscribed, well, you may as well while waiting. Thank you, Greg. Finally. It was very interesting designing authorities specific to a single origin. You can go a lot more granular with the flavor and consider what a truly complete evolutionary predator might look like. I agree. These are really cool. I love the empire size trait. That's such a cool thing to start building up. There's benefits as well to getting loads of traits because of the traits themselves, but then also the empire size. Don't know if you could tell I'm excited. Then we get the but they're cute event, and we get a unique option. We can advance the adaptive evolution situation by 10. Mammalian DNA will be added to our next evolution. 50 food, 50 unity, and 1,496 society research. They were tasty. Oh, that's so good. One final extra step I took for the origin was to go through every single event that mentions biological species of some kind and an option to consume their DNA, if applicable. Iggy, you are mad, and I love the dedication. That makes this origin so fun. Finally, when you discover that ancient avian pilot, you can gain flight. I believe that's from the gateway, when you open a gateway, or the L gate. No, the gateway. Or shelled from that musculoid that was buried in that archaeological site. That's so good. We then also get a screenshot of Procure DNA. It's 30 intel and 1 difficulty, I think, but we're getting espionage with this origin, it seems, because we can procure the DNA, which probably speeds up the situation or gives us more traits. An origin that uses almost every aspect of the game. I love it. I absolutely love this origin. So let's see what's next week, as Iggy's hungry now. They'll be signing off until next week, when we'll be securing our borders and enduring invaders, the Deep Space Citadel and the Starlight Citadel origin. It's sounding like a defensive megastructure. Until then, keep your genes safe. Again, if you are thinking of buying Season 9 or BioGenesis, make sure to use a creator's code. Mine is EP3 Stellaris. or the link is in the description. I will catch you next week. Now go watch this cut Stellaris achievement that was too hard, and I break down how you might actually get it, even though it's RNG hell. It's a great video, and at 70k subscribers I may have said I'll try and get it. Click it now.